Okay, so in the last class we have discussed about various psychrometric properties. Okay, now what are those psychrometric properties which we discussed? One was dry bulb temperature. It is denoted as T. Number two is dew point temperature. It is denoted as TD. Number three, we talked about specific humidity. Okay, it is also known as moisture content, also called as humidity ratio. Also known as absolute humidity. Okay, and it is written as W. Then fourth one is mm, degree of saturation. I think this was also recorded there in the lecture. Degree of saturation, it is denoted as mu. The fifth one is wet bulb temperature. And it is denoted as T dash. Sixth property is relative humidity. It is denoted by phi, also by RH. So RH stands for relative humidity. 7 is enthalpy of moist air. Okay, so these are the various properties, and enthalpy of the moist air is represented by small h. So we talked about dry bulb temperature earlier also. The dry bulb temperature is the temperature recorded by a thermometer whose bulb portion is not affected by moisture, and there are no direct radiations. Okay, so basically if we are keeping the thermometer in a shady area and we are trying to measure the temperature which will be shown in that thermometer will be the dry bulb temperature. Okay, so it is T. And in news, see, every day you are listening to the news, the temperature which they are telling is nothing but the dry bulb temperature. Okay, they say the maximum temperature is, let us say, 40 degree, minimum temperature is suppose 25 degree. So they are talking about the dry bulb temperature of the air. Then comes the dew point temperature. One more thing, this corresponding to this temperature, dry bulb temperature, we have a pressure which we represent by PS. This is actually uh, partial pressure of water vapor corresponding to dry bulb temperature. Okay, it is partial pressure of water vapor corresponding to dry bulb temperature. So we will discuss about it later on. The next property is dpt, and I have told you in the last lecture that dpt is the temperature, rather I can say it is the saturation temperature corresponding to uh, partial pressure of water vapor. Okay, so uh, if I say the partial pressure of the water vapor is PV, okay, then we can see a temperature T saturation. Okay, that this T saturation you can see from the steam table. So this T saturation is nothing but it is actually TD or dew point temperature. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let us proceed to the yes, there is one more definition for it. I would like to tell you that once again. When we talk about the dew point temperature, we can say it is the temp. See how to obtain this dew point temperature. Let us see it here. If I draw a TS diagram, okay, and suppose I would like to show the state of the moisture on it. So this particular point, this is actually superheated state. It is the water vapor, state of the water vapor, and this temperature is dry bulb temperature. Okay, this is dry bulb temperature. This pressure is partial pressure of the water vapor. So when I am cooling this air from state point 1 to state point 2, so at this particular point, whatever is the temperature, that is known as the dew point temperature. So this is dew point temperature, and you can see this is existing only at the saturation condition, when the air gets saturated actually. Okay, so here in this at state point 2, the moisture which is present in air will start condensing. Okay, but we want that it should not condense actually. The moisture, the first drop of the moisture, if it seems to be coming but it has not come out from the air, it is that particular temperature, because the moment it is uh, condensed, then the temperature may vary. Okay, so this temperature is very difficult to measure actually. You can't in actual practice you can't measure this particular temperature. Okay, so uh, and if you will see, I was talking about PS. So if you draw a line here, this corresponds, this line corresponds to the partial pressure at saturation. And this is corresponding to this particular temperature, which is the dry bulb temperature of the air. So now we have talked about the dew point temperature, W, uh, which is specific humidity. I told you it is equal to 0.622 PV over P minus PV. And I also told you that W is a function of PV. Okay. So basically W is a function of partial pressure of water vapor. Now let us go to the fifth property, psychrometric property, and that is wet bulb temperature, denoted by T dash. So I am going to write its definition. It is the temperature recorded by a thermometer whose bulb portion is covered with a wetted wick. Wick means you can have a cloth like cotton. Okay, wetted wick, and moved past the surrounding air at a speed of 3 to 5 meter per second. So it will become 180 meter per minute to 300 per minute. Okay, and move past the surrounding air at a speed of 3 to 5 meter per second. The moisture present in wick evaporates, and the heat required for evaporation is heat required for evaporation is taken from surrounding air as well as the water present in wick. Okay, so present in wick. Okay, so it means the moisture present in wick evaporates and the heat required for evaporation is taken from the surrounding air as well as the water present in the wick. This lowers the temperature of the surrounding air as well as uh, water in the wick. After certain time, the wick, comma, surrounding air surrounding air actually surrounding air gets saturated due to evaporation of moisture are in thermal equilibrium. Okay, are in thermal equilibrium. That means the temperature of the moisture present in the wick is same as that of the surrounding air temperature. Okay, so basically during this evaporation this thermal equilibrium is achieved, and this so this reduced temperature of surrounding air is called wet bulb temperature or T dash. Okay, this is how we define actually wet bulb temperature. It's a lengthy definition, so sometimes difficult to remember also, but I would like to tell you. See, we have a actually sling psychrometer. Now, what is this sling psychrometer? This is a device, something like this. Okay, see, this is the wooden handle actually. And here we have two thermometers which are see here only. So one of them is, you can say, dry bulb thermometer, and this is wet bulb thermometer. So basically what you can see on the wet bulb thermometer, here we have the wick actually. Okay, we have the wick, and this wick is actually moist, means it's dipped in water, so it's carrying water actually. And this sling psychrometer is hinged here. There are two hinges. Okay, hinge means like in a Almira, when you open the Almira, there is a hinge actually. Okay, so these are hinges. So that means this when I will try to rotate this sling psychrometer, it will be able to move in a circular fashion. Okay, it can go under the circular motion. So what we do, we move this sling psychrometer, and what happens, this surrounding air which is present here, that gets saturated. Surrounding air gets saturated, and a thermal equilibrium is achieved. And this how this saturation is occurring actually, there is evaporation of the moisture from the weak portion to the surrounding air. Okay, when this evaporation takes place, the heat required for the evaporation is taken from the wick as well as from the surrounding air. So that is why the temperature of both air, surrounding air, as well as that of the wick reduce, and this reduced temperature is actually known as the wet bulb temperature. Okay, actually it happens because after a certain period of time, when you keep on moving this sling psychrometer, the temperature reduces and a condition of thermal equilibrium is reached between the surrounding air as well as between the wet bulb temperature. Okay, so this is how we can measure the dry bulb temperature as well as the wet bulb temperature with the help of a sling psychrometer. So sling psychrometer is the instrument for measuring both these temperatures. Now let us move to the next thing, which is I think relative humidity. Yeah, it is relative humidity. Now, relative humidity is represented by phi, and this phi is given by mass of water vapor in a given sample, means volume of unsaturated air at a given dry bulb temperature divided by mass of water vapor required to saturate same volume of air at same dry bulb temperature. Okay, so this is the definition of phi. So I will tell you what is it actually, how to calculate this. So I can say that this phi is given by mv divided by ms. Now this mv is mass of water vapor in the sample of unsaturated air at a particular dry bulb temperature, and ms is the mass at the saturation, because you know that air can exist as the saturated air, it can be saturated, and it can also be unsaturated. Now, how to differentiate between the two? Okay, suppose the temperature is equal to say 30 degrees Celsius. So when the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, if I say the mass of the moisture, which is equal to mv, which the air is holding, is, let us say, 8 grams. Okay, but it can hold the maximum moisture which is equal to, let us say, 28 grams at this particular temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it means this air which is having the moisture only 8 grams, this is unsaturated. This is unsaturated. And the same air containing at the same temperature, if it is holding 28 grams of the moisture, then it is saturated air. So this is, I am telling you as an example actually. Okay, so these are not the exact values. Now, so what I have written here is mv is the mass of the water vapor in the unsaturated air at a given dry bulb temperature, and ms is the mass required to saturate. So basically this is ms if it is the temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. So you can say mv is 8 grams and ms is 28 grams. So this is phi actually. Now what I can do is uh, I can assume that this moisture is behaving as a perfect gas. So I am assuming that this water vapor, because it is either superheated or dry saturated, so water vapor is behaving as a perfect gas, though it is not a perfect gas. Okay, it is behaving as a perfect gas, I am assuming that. So I can always write the equation pv vv is equal to mv rv tv. This is valid for the unsaturated air sample, and now I am writing the same equation for the saturated. ts vs is equal to ms rs and ts. So this is corresponding to the saturation condition. Okay, so what I can do is I can divide these two equations. When I divide these two equations, you can see this temperature tv and ts both are same because it is the same dry bulb temperature. So you can say uh, it will be cancelled out. This can be cancelled with this because both are dry bulb temperature. Then if I take rv and rs, both are the characteristic gas constant for the moisture or the water vapor. So they have the same value. So it will also cancel out. Then I have considered the same volume. Okay, same sample I am considering. So the volume will also be same. So I am left with actually mv by ms is equal to pv by ps. So which implies that phi, because phi is given by mv by ms. So this is the value of the phi. Phi is equal to pv by ps. So it is partial pressure of the water vapor for the unsaturated air, and this is the partial pressure of the water vapor corresponding to dry bulb temperature when the air gets saturated. Okay, so now I have also written that phi is equal to mv by ms, and I have considered a particular volume. So I can write mv by v divided by ms by v. So what is this term known as? Mass per unit volume is what? It is kg per meter cube. So it is density of the water vapor in the unsaturated air divided by density of the water vapor in the at the saturated condition. And it can also be written as specific volume in the saturated condition divided by specific volume in the unsaturated condition. So Vv is the specific volume of the water vapor when the air is unsaturated, and Vs is the specific volume for the saturated air condition. Okay, so this is the definition of the phi. Now we will proceed to enthalpy. Enthalpy of air. Okay, when I say air, it is the moist air. I say this is actually H, capital H. So H is equal to what? I know if I have a sample of the air which is available to me, it contains two things. One is the water vapor and other is the dry air. So that means if I have to calculate the enthalpy, total enthalpy of the air, then I will have to write the expression MA into CPA. So this is the mass of the dry air part, or rather than CPA, I can write HA. Okay, not CPA. I'm writing MA into HA. So HA is the enthalpy of the dry air part plus MV into HV. Okay, this is the enthalpy of the water vapor and mass of the water vapor. Okay, now what I can do is, normally what we do, we consider that the mass of the air, dry air part, is equal to 1 kg, or otherwise I can also write it as H by MA is equal to MAHA divided by MA plus MV divided by MA into HV. So I will get, now this is actually H. Now this is enthalpy of moist air, enthalpy of moist air per kg of dry air, and this is equal to HA plus, now what is this MV by MA? Do you remember? Can anybody tell me? कोई बता सकता है?
So absolute humidity.
Absolute humidity. It is W. So W times HV. ओके, तो ये वैल्यू आ गई मेरे पास. तो अब क्या करते हैं, थोड़ा सा इसको और सॉल्व कर देंगे. सॉल्व करेंगे तो हमारे पास क्या आएगा देखते हैं. अब क्योंकि ये, अब हम दो चीज़ें लेते हैं. सबसे पहले हम लेट अस टेक एच ए. सो एच ए विल बी इक्वल टू स्पेसिफिक हीट ऑफ एयर इनटू ड्राई बल्ब टेम्परेचर. देखो एयर जो है, एयर का जो मैंने सैंपल कंसीडर करा है, इसका टेम्परेचर है टी, जो कि ड्राई बल्ब टेम्परेचर है. तो अगर एयर है तो हमने उसकी स्पेसिफिक हीट को टी से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. और एक और मैं यहाँ पे एज्यूम कर रहा हूँ, आई एम टेकिंग डेटम एज 0 degree Celsius. I am taking datum as 0 degree Celsius. So T minus 0 will be here. Okay. So this is the value of HA. CPA, what is the value of CPA? It is equal to 1.005 and T minus 0 is T. So this is the value of enthalpy of the 1 kg of the dry air part. Okay. So I can, let us say this is equation number 1. Now I have to calculate the value of enthalpy of the vapor. Okay. Now let us see. Okay, I am drawing here a diagram, TS diagram for the moisture. Now this is the superheated water vapor which is present at this particular temperature, and this temperature is nothing but dry bulb temperature. ये T temperature है, यहाँ पे TD है, और ये जो टेम्परेचर है, ये टेम्परेचर है 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस, क्योंकि 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस को मैंने रेफरेंस माना हुआ है. तो इसका मतलब है कि सबसे पहले मुझे वाटर को 0 से TD टेम्परेचर तक हीट करना पड़ेगा. उसके बाद यहाँ पे लेटेंट हीट ऐड करनी पड़ेगी, यहाँ पे वेपर बन जाएगा. उसके बाद यहाँ पे सेंसिबल हीट ऐड करनी पड़ेगी अप टू टेम्परेचर T. तब जो है एयर की एंथैल्पी कैलकुलेट होगी पॉइंट नंबर 1 पे, जो कि सुपरहीटेड स्टेट है टेम्परेचर T पे. तो इसका एक्सप्रेशन लिखते हैं. ओके, so I can write it is equal to CPW, which is the specific heat of water, into TD minus 0. So this is from point number, let us say A to point number B. This is the amount of the heat added. Plus, what I will do, I will calculate the value of HFG. I will add the HFG corresponding to TD. Whatever is the dew point temperature corresponding to that value, This is the latent heat of vaporization. So this is the heat from B to C actually. Plus, now what I have to do at point number C, it is saturated vapor, and we are adding more amount of heat into it, so it becomes superheated vapor. And CPV is the specific heat of the superheated vapor multiplied by degree of superheat, and that is equal to T minus ED. Okay, so HV is equal to CPW. Now what is the value of CPW? 1.4868 into TD plus HFG corresponding to TD plus the value of CPV is 1.88 into T minus TD. So this is the expression for the HV. So we have written the value of H. We have written the value of H, which was equal to HA plus W times HV. तो इसका मतलब हमारे पास ये वैल्यू आ गई CPA इंटू T प्लस CPW इंटू TD प्लस HFG corresponding to TD plus 1.88 T minus TD. So this is the most accurate value of you can say specific heat, not specific heat, enthalpy of the moist air. Okay, so this is the value. But sometimes what we can do is we can simplify this expression. We can simplify this expression a little bit more by assuming that I can tell you, see here, this is the TS diagram. Once again I am drawing. No, actually this was the point actually which I am talking about. This is the 0 degree Celsius, this particular point, and this is PV. Okay, what happens even if I go from 0 degree Celsius to this particular point? Okay, because this pressure PV is very low, so whatever the enthalpy which I am calculating at this particular point is not much different from this particular point actually. So if I call it as HA and call it as HC, so enthalpy of HA can be approximated as enthalpy equal to HC. I am talking about the water vapor actually. I am talking about water vapor. तो जो A पे एंथैल्पी है, जो कि मैंने अभी ऊपर इक्वेशन में कैलकुलेट करी है, कौन सी वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करी है? ये कैलकुलेट करी है, इस वैल्यू को कैलकुलेट करा है। तो HC की जो वैल्यू है वो HA के तकरीबन बराबर है। अगर आप इस तरह से करके देखें तो मुझे ये बताओ कि HV की वैल्यू कितनी आएगी? HV की वैल्यू आएगी हमारे पास, already we are at 0 degree Celsius, so from 0 degree Celsius if I am adding, this is the latent heat, so it is equal to HFG at 0 degree Celsius plus आगे क्या है हमारे पास CPV into T minus 0, because this temperature is T. ओके, और ये 0 है, यहाँ पे 0 है, तो यहाँ पे भी टेम्परेचर 0 है, यहाँ पे टेम्परेचर T है, सो T माइनस 0, और ये स्पेसिफिक हीट है वेपर की। तो इसका मतलब, और ये जो वैल्यू होती है 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे, इसकी वैल्यू है 2501, और CP की V की वैल्यू जो है वो है 1.88। तो HV की वैल्यू क्या आ गई हमारे पास? HV की वैल्यू आ गई हमारे पास HFG at 0 degree Celsius plus CPV into T। तो अब देखो यहाँ से ये HV की वैल्यू आ गई, इससे पहले हमने HA की वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करी थी यहाँ पे, जो कि CPA into T थी। तो मेरे पास अब एच की वैल्यू कितनी आएगी, एच इज इक्वल टू सी पी ए इंटू टी प्लस डब्ल्यू, क्योंकि यहाँ पे देखो ये डब्ल्यू लगा हुआ था। ओके, सो डब्ल्यू टाइम्स एच वी कहाँ पे है, ये रहा एच वी, ये रहा एच वी। सो दिस इज इक्वल टू एच एफ जी एट 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस प्लस सी पी वी इंटू टी, ये वैल्यू आ जाएगी मेरे पास। तो इसको कोई हमें कोई डेरिवेशन याद नहीं करना, जस्ट आपको एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ मैं। सो द वैल्यू ऑफ एच comes out to be CPA plus W times CPV इंटू टी। मैंने कौन कौन सी टर्म ले ली, एक तो ये टर्म ले ली है, दूसरा ये टर्म ले ली है, इसके बाहर ये W से मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है, तो ये हमारे पास आ गया। और T मैंने कॉमन लिया, प्लस मेरे पास आ जाएगा W टाइम्स एच एफ जी एट 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस। सो बेसिकली ये एक्सप्रेशन बना जहाँ पे CPA की वैल्यू मेरे को पता है 1.005 है, CPV की वैल्यू जो है वो 1.88 है, T क्या है, ड्राइबल टेम्परेचर है, और ये जो एच एफ सी की वैल्यू है 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे, ये 2501 है। तो अब मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, आई कैन से दैट एच इज इक्वल टू, दिस वैल्यू ऑफ एच इज इक्वल टू सी पी इंटू टी लिख सकता हूँ, प्लस डब्ल्यू टाइम एच एफ जी एट 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस लिख सकता हूँ। ठीक है, तो ये जो आई है वैल्यू मेरे पास, ये देखो ये जो वैल्यू थी, इस पूरे को मैंने ले लिया, इसको मैंने कहा सीपी, और ये सीपी क्या है, दिस इज स्पेसिफिक हीट ऑफ मॉइस्ट एयर। और एयर कंडीशनिंग की कैलकुलेशन में इसकी जो वैल्यू होती है, इसको मैं लेता हूँ 1.0216, क्योंकि एयर कंडीशनिंग की जो टेम्परेचर रेंज है वो समवेयर अराउंड 5-7 डिग्री से लेकर 50 डिग्री सेल्सियस के बीच में होती है। तो एक कांस्टेंट वैल्यू हम एज्यूम कर सकते हैं कि ये सी पी ए प्लस डब्ल्यू टाइम्स सी पी वी की इतनी वैल्यू है, एंड द यूनिट इज किलो जूल्स पर के जी ऑफ ड्राई एयर पर केल्विन और डिग्री सेल्सियस, जो भी लिखना चाहो आप। ठीक है, तो ये इसकी यूनिट हो गई। सो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर। ओके, so here I would like to take a break for about 10-15 minutes, and then I will continue once again. Okay.